A huge tarpaulin with El Shaddai leader Mike Velarde's face welcomes his followers at the Amoranto Stadium in Quezon City. But when you look to the right, screaming red and orange posters of senatorial candidates call your attention. It's a prayer rally where over 1,000 faithful participate. But with campaign materials left and right and senatorial bets around, the religious activity is almost like a campaign sortie. After the Mass, senatorial candidates or their representatives speak one by one before the crowd, expressing their thanks and support to the charismatic group. When Velarde's van arrived, candidates or their representatives took the chance to have a chit-chat with the religious leader.
I just came to pay my respects.
All right.
I know El Shaddai is a wise and intelligent organization. They will select their candidates.
Hindi naman welcome lahat ng politicians sa religious organization. But I have been friends with them, many of them, and I go to their affairs.
I don't know what it means. Maybe I have to ask Brother Mike, but he did invite me to be here. And we did arrange for this rally to take place here in Quezon City. We were his partners in terms of setting up the stage, the logistics, etc.
While he allows candidates to speak before his followers, Velarde clarifies he has yet to decide who among the aspirants will get his endorsement in the upcoming polls.
Everybody is welcome dito. Walang opposition, walang administration. Basta they come, binibigyan ko sila ng a chance. Anyway, the members are free to choose.
In a 2017 survey, 9 of 10 Filipinos still give their biggest trust to the church among institutions. That's more than their trust in the government, media, business, and non-government organizations. This shows a strong influence of religious groups among Filipinos, including in deciding who to vote for during elections. Sociologist Jail Cornelio notes that the endorsement power of religious leaders may not be so high, but is still significant. He cites a 2018 survey of Kantar TNS which showed 39% or 4 of 10 Filipinos will likely vote for a candidate endorsed by their church or religious group.
Religious groups have different traditions and different expectations of authority. Now, some, in my field, in the sociology of religion, how strict a religion is translates to their own expectations of how people might follow stipulations or the principles, not just the beliefs, but even the political choices of their leaders.
While Roman Catholics dominate Philippine society, other religious groups such as Iglesia ni Cristo show their strong political presence through block voting. Iglesia ni Cristo is the third biggest religion in the country, next to Catholicism and Islam. In last year's interview with CNN Philippines, Iglesia ni Cristo spokesman Edwil Zabala talked about discipline in their religion and the importance of unity among its members.
That the Bible teaches, for example, that we should be united with the leadership of the church, the executive minister of the church. If it's a requirement, then we should follow it. So that's where the discipline flows from.
While Iglesia ni Cristo vote definitely boosts a politician's candidacy, it does not assure a win. For instance, in the 2016 elections, Iglesia ni Cristo supported President Rodrigo Duterte and former Senator Bongbong Marcos's presidential and vice presidential bid. Duterte won, but Marcos lost by a small margin to his closest rival, Leni Robredo. Cornelio says endorsing a candidate plays a huge part in the politics of recognition among religious groups.
The politics of recognition is not about only the institution being recognized by the public, but it's also being recognized by politicians from whom they could exact favors later on. This is very true for any minority religious group in any country.
For as long as someone in government is able to uphold the separation of church and state, we're happy with that. We don't need special treatment. We have been in existence for 104 years.
Noo ka na good. You created a perfect world. Why spoil it kayo yung in a solemn
As President Duterte attacks the Catholic Church and its leaders, calls for one Catholic vote arise. Cornelio says historically, Catholics never voted as a bloc, and he doubts that it may happen this upcoming election. Even as some in the clergy calls for the so-called godly votes.
The Catholic vote as a bloc exists. Obviously, it does not at the national level. But at the local level, this is where nuance matters. We might see the influence or the impact of endorsements by local priests or local bishops in relation to certain issues.
Members of faith-based organizations, primarily Catholics and Protestants, launched the People's Choice movement. So far, the group endorsed 10 senatorial candidates, which they think should compose an independent Senate. Its chairman, Ricky Xavier, says belief in God and their stance on federalism are the two main factors why they endorsed 9 oppositions and an independent candidate.
It is not a protest vote. Basically, it is based on issues, based on principles. And if it so happened that the Ocho Derecho, as they're called, were part of it, it's because all of them are against federalism. And they've spoken about it quite openly.
Manila Auxiliary Bishop Broderick Pabilio openly supported the so-called People's Choice and urged more clergies to speak up. Xavier says they will also talk to El Shaddai's Velarde to support their cause. But it looks like Velarde has his own criteria in choosing his lineup.
May 3 questions sila akong tinatanong kung anong posisyon nila. Yung tungkol sa same-sex marriage, sa divorce, at saka sa death penalty. Nagsasarbe lang ako kung anong posisyon nila.
And so far, sir, may nakapasa na ba sa inyo?
Mayroon naman nakakapasa. But we will have our grand rally sa Luneta sa May 4.
Okay. So
Yun.
by then, doon po natin malalaman.
By then, malalaman natin kung sino pumasa.
Kaya ito po ang ating gagawin ngayong eleksyon.
Endorsements from religious groups may have impact on the results of the elections. But at the end of the day, the religious believe whomever they vote for, God's will still prevail. George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.